Indian Society of Structural Engineers. I welcome all of you, all my friends who are available on online. Lot of webinars are happening today all over world, and we are enjoying them. This is special for today, and ISSE is dedicated the engineers, civil engineers in special. ISSE is continuously doing work for civil engineers for many years, and this institution is continuously publishing, arranging seminars, lectures. But unfortunately, within 2 months, because of all lockdowns, we could not do. But I'm very happy that we are arranging every day for benefit of our colleagues, friends, architects, engineers, whoever is there. And this topic will be very, very useful to all of us. Special welcome to all who are must be from out of Mumbai. In normally we arrange in Mumbai and many places, but local people are available. But thanks to this today's technology, we all are available throughout country, or maybe some people may be from out. This I request to proceed further. Arun, please take over.
Arun sir, please take over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shantila. I would like to thank ISSC for giving Serge Ferrari an opportunity to do this webinar. I will introduce myself, Arun Madapalla, Country Manager for Serge Ferrari, looking after South Asia and Southeast Asian countries. And I would like to welcome Mr. Dilesh Singh Matadu. He is engineer from IMS Germany. IMS Germany is an institute where membrane engineering is a subject in their institute. And Dilesh Singh is an engineer from this institute, and he is the CEO of Western Auto Structure Private Limited, a great specialist in design membrane business and a great associate for Serge Ferrari. And we are working together with Delerji for more than 20 years, and he has a great knowledge of tensile membrane business. And I'm sure he will take you all through his presentation on this. I would also like to introduce Basaraj Gurav. He is general manager based in West India for West India. And thanks a lot, Ruchir. Ruchir Ambadkar is our specific manager. He is the one who has taken all the efforts to contact ISSC for organizing this webinar. He is based in Mumbai and looking after West India market. I would like to start with a video of Serge Ferrari. Okay. The screen is clear, and you can
Yes, sir.
hear the voice as well.
Yes, sir.
Audio as well. Okay, so this is just a corporate video, a small video on Search Ferrari. So just to continue across different in multi-sector application, tensile architecture is one of the key market which we'll be covering today. Besides tensile architecture, we also have fabric for the facade applications. It can be used as a secondary skin or a primary skin based on the applications. We have also fabric for acoustic, a very special micro perforated fabric which can be used as a ceiling or wall covering application internally and as a secondary membrane externally for controlling the echo of the this. So the other product we have is roller blinds, which can be used internally and externally. Option fabric externally for thermal protection, modular structure, wide span tent and pagoda structures. We also manufacture fabric indoor and outdoor furniture for upholstery as well as sling fabrics, awnings, industrial products like biogas and visual communication, printing applications, and military applications. Today the subject is tensile architecture, which we call design to impress and created to last. So my presentation will be roughly 15 minutes. I'll try to read that because today's presentation is also more important because that is the one which will give you a good idea of the engineering of the tensile membrane structures. So we bring Search Ferrari range of products and the tensile membrane. Tensile membrane roofs. Basically, tensile membrane. A small description. It can be a fabric structure cover an expansive cover area with limited number of columns. We can cover a large span area with limited number of columns. Versatile in design. You can put your own signature of the building. It can be used for multi-purpose applications like entrance canopy, walkways, indoor and outdoor court, parking states, large-scale stadiums, amphitheaters, etc. Because flexible material, it can cover a flexible design, different design aesthetic. It's lightweight. Because of its lightweight, it can cover a wide structures. We have extensive color range. Even though the white is most commonly even though is used most commonly, weatherproof. We have 100% waterproof material. We have also mesh fabric on the application. Another advantage is in couple of slides. It will be good if others can mute the mic so that the presentation be smooth. Thank you. Durability, it's a wide durable material. So natural light, this is the benefits of tensile architecture. As you know, the sun, we have good natural light and thus saving the electricity of the building. You can have a good transmission of light at the same time, solar energy comfort as well. So we have different types of fabric which can be applied for this kind of applications. And because of the consistency in manufacturing, light will be consistent throughout. If you have a structure and you use a fabric from the same batch, you have consistent translucency. Of course, we have also all fabrics are flame retardant as well, depending on the type of fabrics. In flame retardancy, we have PVDF coated fabric, which is self-stitching and limited degradation. When the fire happens, it catches the fire. Fabric will catch the fire, but it extinguishes itself and it makes a hole and the fire escape through the hole. So that is the advantage in PVC PVDF fire properties. We have also fabric for PTF fabric with high fire classification because the base material is glass. Also, the possibility of printing possible in our fabric. If there is a particular project, we can provide special of printing on the fabric so that you will have high durability of printing as well in our fabric. So lightweight advantage, which I was explaining to you, the average weight, if you take in the membrane structure, it is 1 kg per square meter, and it can take a load of 20 per linear meter of the fabric, which is really very high fabric. And because of the flexible material, the fabrication is very easy and the transportation is easy. So comparing to the conventional material, it's very easy to manage the fabrication and installation. And of course, it works in tension, and these possibilities are there. And also free span structure or the secondary structures. The other one is that the weight of the structure is more less than half the weight of a conventional building, and pleasing atmosphere because of the translucency of the membrane comparing to the conventional structures. So that is also a good advantage when you're using lightweight membrane structures. Many applications are possible: stadiums, metros, airports, amphitheaters, indoor stadiums, walkway structures. So a wide range of application can be done using membrane structures, and of course enclosed building and the big structures like amphitheaters as well. Okay, so Search Ferrari has a different technology. So the important one here, which I would like to explain, is technology. So pre-contained technology is a technology developed by Search Ferrari. It's a French word, and basically it's a pre-stress. Pre-contained is pre-stress in English. So it's made of high density polystyrene, and during coating process, the yarns are stretched in warp and web direction with constant tension. The advantage is that the dimensional stability of the fabric is almost same in both the direction, and Delaire can explain you, the LG can explain you better why it is, what is in engineering terms, what is in pre-contained technology. And comparing to the other fabrics market, we are less than 1% elongation in both the direction. This is important point because of the climatic conditions and load. The fabric behavior is that it elongates in the different climatic condition, and in Search Ferrari back to its original position. Material offer, we have fabric for different shading application, building application, and enclosed building application. The advantage is that we can create a design identity and thermal comfort. If you have a building where you need good we can give you solution for that: single membrane, double membrane, or in with insulation. And then you natural light inside. We have also fabric for the acoustic performance as a second membrane, which can be used indoor and exterior application. Lifespan, design life starting from 20 and more than 40 years. Material longevity is there, and the new range of fabric, which is PTFE, is the design life is 50 years plus. Because of the pre-contained technology, the reliability of the membrane is good, and the lifespan is better. We have all the fabrics are fire according to different standards. Then we have LEED certification and lightweight thing according to the requirements, and maintenance are very easy in membrane structures. Okay, so just again, the protection against UV, lightweight, it can be used for semi-permanent or permanent structures, accuracy of light, good aesthetic, and warranty up to 35 years in considering the different types of fabric and span structures can be done using membrane. So this is the range from Ferrari. The premium range in Search Ferrari is Extreme TX. All the fabrics are manufactured with density polystyrene coated with PVC, but we do a special coating on top of the PVC and backside of the PVC. Different types of coatings are available, and in Ferrari Extreme TX30 this coating is a special which is cross-link PVDF coating. This thing is that the molecules of the PVDF are together to give a design life of more than 30 years. That is why the name TX30 is. It gives TX30 better longevity, which can be used for big span structures. We have different types of materials available. Normally, the type of material is determined by the engineering expert like Delaire G, who will select what type of fabric is required for what type of structures. So we have fabric of type 2, type 3, type 4, and type 5. And depending on the structure, the engineering company will select what type of material required. Then a special, because of pre-content technology and high concentration PVDF, a special machine is required to weld the fabric. And this machine is called abrasion machine. So companies like Western Outdoor, they have this type of machine to do the abrasion for the welding. So concentration PVDF, Ferrari is the only company who provides a better PVDF coating. So an abrasion is required before and we give warranty of up to 20 years and up to 25 years depending on the structure, and it's a diminishing warranty. First 5 years we give 100% and the warranty diminishes after the 6th year. We have advanced range of fabric. This is the second range of fabric from Search Ferrari after TX30. This is the one which is commonly used for many projects in India. And again, we have type of fabric, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. Depending on the structures, you can select the fabric. And we have also a high translucent fabric in this range. Again, the same warranty, 15 years warranty. The new development from Search Ferrari is FlexLite PTFE. We have in 2 types of fabric, which is 3 microns, 6 micron. Again, type 2 and type 3 in 3 microns, and type 2 to type 4, type 5 in 6 microns. We have this range. So PTFE is a special material which is which has better fire retardancy property, the PVC coated membranes. The warranty is 15 years for this type of membranes. We also submit test report for all our products. Fire classification reports and other reports we submit for the project and required for this thing. So some of the case studies here. This 20 years exposure membrane. Actually, we have replaced this membrane with fabric was done. The membrane structure was done using Ferrari, and it stand for 20 years. And after 20 years, we made a longevity study and the reskin with this material. Again, same for the KL for the one project. We have replaced the racetrack with our new fabric, which is TX30, and after 19 years of exposure in Kuala Lumpur. 15 years of exposure in Shanghai, Messe, 160,000 square meters of fabric used for this project, still intact. Another from Search Ferrari for this project. Just to add to the case studies, we have done some testing on the fabrics, many years of exposure, and you can see here in the first project, the Airbus Hanger, after 22 years, tensile strength lost 3% in warp direction and 60% in web direction. So normally it's very good performance comparing to the weather conditions of different regions. We wide range of tests done for different projects all over the world. We can do certification for that. So energy performance, this is an important criteria. There are possibilities of saving using membrane. So here the example given is the double membrane structure with insulation material from Timax. So you can reach up to 1.1 watt per square meter degree Kelvin for the U value, and at the same time you can get 2 to 3% light transmission as well using membrane. So this is without insulation. We can get we can use double membrane, single membrane. The U value you can see for the facade and the roof, 5.9 and 6.4 respectively. So if you put a double membrane, you can get the U value 2.9 and 3.1 respectively for the facade and roof applications in our membrane. And of course, can also use our micro-perforated membrane for the better acoustic performance. So this is one case study for that double membrane structure. The top is TX30, and we have used 402 as a secondary membrane as per the project requirement to meet the solar factor and the U value. Acoustic performance, this is a new range from Ferrari, which can be used as a secondary membrane indoor or outdoor, which has got an NRC value of 65% with a 100 mm air gap. So more details we can through that. This is silent AW, which is used for internal acoustic performance, and the case study that. So here it is very important because before the fabric, the reverberation time of the sound is 6.9 seconds, wherein after treatment it has reduced to 2.5 seconds. So that means with Alphalia AW as an inner membrane, reverberation time 3 times lower after treatments. This is for comfortable of the sports happening in the building, and the reverberation of sound has come down drastically. So we do a comfortable solution. And acoustic membrane for the exterior applications, which is Arena SW, covered outdoor application. This is a project done in Ashram. Of course, the roof membrane, the Western Outdoor was in contractor who has done this project. And as a secondary membrane, we used our Arena SW fabric, and the comfort was tremendous after using the secondary membrane. The original design was with the primary membrane only, but because a lot of echoes, we have decided, the client has accepted to use Arena SW for better acoustic performance. Again, Al Bayt Stadium, same project. We have made a special fabric for Al Bayt Stadium in Qatar, and more than 100,000 meters of fabric has been supplied for this project. And you can see the performance. We have got the performance that it is much better comparing to a single membrane. This is specially made fabric as per the requirement of the client with a special bedroom structure kind of fabric, and as a secondary membrane we have used this project. So design identity, I'm not going through too much on that because time constraint, the LRG must be covering on this, so we can create different designs. I just run through the projects on that. We can create different design identity for the membrane using tensile membrane structures. Okay, and Kana, we have wide range of project reference for tensile membrane, and we'll share you the presentation with you to go through the different projects executed by Serge Ferrari. So I now hand over the presentation to the LG to take us through his expertise in membrane engineering. And if you have any questions, we can address it now, or at the end of the presentation, we can take the call so that myself and LG can answer the questions that you have. So thank you very much for that. And LG, handing over to you. Thank you. LG, can you hear us? Hello. Richard, can you? LG, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Good afternoon, friends. I'm Daler Singh here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So I first of all thank the society for giving this opportunity to present to you the fascinating world of membrane structures. I'm a craftsman engineer, what the Germans call. I've been passionate about since the last 2 decades, and before that, I used to work in the lightweight industry for fabrication and erection. As Arun has showed you some fascinating forms and shapes, an architectural delight. Membrane structures is an architectural delight. It is a landmark structure which is functional and which is aesthetically pleasing and makes a statement. Well, the beginning of tensile structures is very humble. As we all know, since the mankind walked out of the caves and even to enjoy the sun and air and whatnot. I think the first time he stretched some stitched skins of animals over his head to protect himself from sun, from rain, and whatnot, to feel comfortable. So the most primary of adobes that humankind has known are tents. And as the skills of mankind advanced with time, with experience, started constructing with other elements like wood and eventually stone, and first stone, then wood. And we can see throughout the evolution of history that once we had made something, we always yearned for more. And more was wider spans, bigger spaces, volumes. And that's where the membrane structure industry of present day has it. Normally, I have a topic for architectural students, but here I am today with my friends in structural engineers. So just some notes. Tension membrane structures, as you can see, normal structures. Classical membrane structures have more tension only elements and very few compression elements. In the entire system, elimination of bending and other forces like torque and whatnot make this very efficient. So that's how the term lightweight structures has come. The most important part of the understanding of the system is that the roofing membrane is not just cladding, it is the structure. Now this is where the deviation is from the normal structures that we construct, the everyday structures, where we have a primary structure and a secondary structure. The secondary structure does not necessarily participate in the stability of the whole system. Whereas in the field of membrane architecture, the roof is the structure. So it can be called the primary structure. Today, as we are talking more about the engineering concept, so just a little bit of the flow of design. It's form finding, structural analysis, patterning, and then connection and steel design. As you can see, this is a very interesting structure which has been put up in front of my institute in
LSG, we lost your voice.
going on. Now it's on. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think somehow the mic got muted. So where was I? I was with the start or?
In this slide only.
Okay, in the slide. Thank you. Thank you. Because normally we are not so used to speaking to the computer without seeing people and their eyes. It becomes difficult. You don't know when you are off and you go on blabbering. Thank you for bearing with me this lacuna, and request Arun that I must please bring me back.
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So once having said that it is not just cladding, it is the structure, and most of the members are in tension, let us see practically how a classical tensile membrane system is. Why I am saying classical is, because most of the time you don't see these kind of structures in everyday use. Look at structures, as Arun showed you in so many slides, the large but still there is some inside a system where the membrane and cables, they work in tandem and they ensure the stability of the entire part. So what we see today is the tensile structures in classical form and not the cladded ones. The structures may have a frame element, beams which may undergo bending and torsion and whatnot. Coming back to the tensile structures, you can see over here, the membrane is in tension, the cables are in tension, so are the corners and hardware. And even most of the foundations are in tension. And only 4 foundations where the mast is connected are in compression. This also means one, that tensile structures may seem light in air, but they are heavy in ground. Because to maintain equilibrium and stability, the ground anchors which take the tension of cables become quite heavy in connection to or in relation to with the compressive foundations of the mast. So in short, this is how the system looks like. Free flow of this process, the form finding, the structural analysis. Now here when I say structural analysis, today I will restrict myself this time constraint to the analysis of the geometry, the fabric and the cable part. And then there is one very important aspect of, hello?
Yes, continue.
Okay, thank you. Cutting pattern generation and then construction engineering. Moving forward, the 2 most important parts and the 2 parts.
Can you make your screen big, the presentation mode?
Okay, one moment now. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Sure. So if we see this membrane construction, there are 2 inherent forces, 2 important criteria. One is the geometry and other is the pre-stress. The combination of geometry and pre-stress is what we call the form. So the relationship between form and force, we can call pre-stress a force. The independence is that form follows force and force follows form. Now, this is a very unique deviation from the normal statically calculated structures. What does this mean? This means that if I have a weaker form, for example, the curvature, you can see in this small 2D representation of the forces acting on a tension cable. And we can see that the curvature being less over here in this part, we have more forces for the same applied force. So it means geometry acts as a component of stability rather than just a shape. So that is why the term finding form. Because an engineer who is supposed to develop a structural system and he has been given some inputs, would like to make a reasonably efficient, highly curved surface fitting with the parameters of the architect or the client. So here now this process itself becomes an iterative process. Unlike the normal structural process where we have the main structure and then there is a choice of cladding, whether it may be metal decks or it may be plastic sheeting or it may be something else. That becomes secondary. In fact, in membrane structure, we have a top-down approach design itself. And the top-down approach means find the form, the pre-stress needed to stabilize it. And then eventually once we load, we come down main substructure or the supporting structure. So the interdependency is the fundamental part of tensile structure design, geometry and pre-stress, form and force. Force follows form and form follows force. It's a deviation, but it's very exciting, friends. Once we get a little bit of hang, and then the brilliant minds which are there in this seminar can easily take it up. Now from 2D, if we go 3D, on the left hand side, if we see the first picture, I hope the picture is here. There are
Yes.
two cables. Thank you. There are two cables stabilizing the point M in 3D space. Now, as I can demonstrate, if cable AB is more tension than the cable DC, the point M will move upwards. Means the geometry changes. Similarly, if the opposite side cables are in more, then the point moves down. So the force and geometry relationship can be seen by a simple model. On the right hand side, where we are now converted this into a surface. So what we can see over here is surfaces. The surface which inflated is a synclastic surface, and the surface which is inverted is an anticlastic surface. Two most important geometries for membrane structures. We all know the flatter structures won't work with membrane structures because lot of geometry or less geometry means too much of pre-stress to stabilize it. And as we start increasing the pre-stress, the forces go on increasing, and so the structure becomes heavier and heavier and heavier. Yes, if we stick to the geometries of synclastic or anticlastic shapes, we can bring in the component of geometry and play around with pre-stress so that we have a stable structure and the supporting components are also reasonable and easy to eye. Here we can see once more how this anticlastic surface works. If you see the cable R2 and R1, for example, the structure is loaded with imposed loads, like wave load, snow, or any other imposed load. The cable R2 will be under tension and the cable R1 may relax. So it means in case of imposed loads, the high points share the forces, whereas when we go to the opposite side, remembering that the membrane is tension only element, it will not take any kind of compression, and with a very small fragment of shear stiffness, we have to go in for a shape which stabilizes it on both sides. So cable R1 comes into action when actions of uplift or wind are in question. So this is how the upward and downward forces are very well contained, passed on the supporting structure. One more sketch by my guru Martin Brown. He's the one who worked with Bird Air, and he was instrumental in the Denver airport and various large projects which were the cream of all engineers and architects way back in the 1980s, 90s, when people like me were in awe of this large span, seemingly light structures floating in air, wondering what keeps them afloat. But once we try to understand the basic principles, they are very simple. Here I have in front of you what we call a boiler formula, or the component pressure in a cylinder. This brings me to a simple solution. In a curved arch, tension is equal to pressure into radius. So this radius over here, as and as the radius becomes shallower, the tension will increase if the pressure is constant. And similarly, when I go on increasing the curvature with the same kind of pressure, I'll get lesser tensions. And this is how we actually hand calculate. Because as we all know, today's world is full of softwares. There can be elements of garbage in, garbage out. There can be elements of missing something because these are complex geometries, non-linear stuff, different E-modulars, different algorithms used. And once we come out with a solution, it has to be hand checked that am I near or am I way off? So these are the two formulas. One is which I am sharing with you, and other is the force density formula. Now coming back to the actual shapes and the variations of shapes possible, the geometry possible, because we see various different geometries all over. The first one is anticlastic shape, or what we call an hyperbolic paraboloid. Architects love to call it an hyperbolic paraboloid. And on the right hand side is a synclastic structure. It's a component of pneumatics. In the pneumatic structures, there is an additional component which is the pressure. It can be a double skin structure or single skin structure, as you can see air inflated structures, where the stability comes by pumping pressurized air inside the membrane. And depending on the atmospheric pressure or wind conditions, this pressure is modulated. And this has helped us in making huge structures which can be deployed in hours rather than months, and which can withstand a lot of forces in snow. In Europe, where there is 6 or 8 months of snow, for outdoor sports like skating and volleyball, tennis, football, you can see large air domes which are used where the inside temperature is maintained inside the envelope, maintaining the temperature as well as maintaining the stability of the structure. However, today's topic is the anticlastic structure, the classical membrane form. Talking about variations, you can see how the basic forms evolve. The conical structure, which we regularly see all over, it may be like this or inverted, a funnel shape, which I think everyone getting out of the Mumbai International and domestic airport would see a first sight. Let me tell you, friends, these structures are now almost 14 years old. They are still stable and they look absolutely fantastic. Just a reference to Ferrari fabrics with excellent creep resistance properties, technology, and coatings. We can surely make our so-called umbrellas last for as long as we want to do. So the conical structures are again plastic structures. On every given point of surface, most probably we will find two curvatures going in the opposite directions. And so is this vane form and this arch and again small arches. These are, the upper line is with cable edges and the bottom line is with the beam edges. So have a cable geometry which leaves wide areas open. In cities, we are restricted for place. We want to have a structure, but not give much of space. So we can use rigid edges, but call a beam edge. I want to take you a little bit to the history before Daler Singh could speak. There was one of the pioneers, Mr. Fry Otto, who was visionary of his time. And I remember those times with Buckminster Fuller and others developing space frames and spatial structures and shell structures. How although others were interested before him, but he was the one who made it popular. So finding form was something which was not decoded till then. He had an idea that if a boundary and dip it in a soap bubble liquid and it comes out, it will be a minimal surface. The reason being, the soap bubble film is so vulnerable and so thin, it cannot bear uneven stresses. The minimal surface was so that we can save on materials, find a minimal surface between given geometry. Till that time, the algorithms and the equations were not. I think this I'm talking about is around 1960s. So even computers would be the size of, buses, maybe BST buses, double-decker buses, God knows what. So it was left to imagination. And then there was another contrasting thought of creating an equal stress field. Because as we all know, structures, although they can be reinforced, not something like normal structures where we can use a very heavier element at the corners and go mid-span or somewhere we can go on being lighter and lighter. That is not possible with membrane structures because they are also skylight. They allow light inside. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Dinerji.
Thank you. So he's experimenting with his soap bubble films and he did a lot of research and various shapes. The photographs that I am all from the life and history of Fray Otto, his works, and we can see the intensity, passion of trying to find a form. And he believed that if a form is a minimal surface, it has to be an equal stress field. With an equal stress field, we can use very light, flexible materials. We do not need something which is very strong and which take a lot of loads. He did a lot of experimentation and eventually he arrived at this. And we all know this was one of the wide span structures of its time, the path-breaking cable net structure of the Munich Olympic Stadium. Till such time, engineers were working around, trying to work out various numerical theories, models, equations of the second and third order, trying a combination of materials and trying to work out interdependence. As you can see, the membrane structures, when we start analyzing them, being very flexible, the first iteration of load deforms the geometry. And suddenly, there is a new geometry. And this new geometry will work towards its stability now. So by each and every iteration, it is not a static load which we once put and then we come out with the results and stresses. Here, with every iteration, the geometry also changes. And so does the force. So all the time I have to remember that form follows force and force follows form. In this structure, the entire development of present day membrane structure industry is where this happened. This is the structure which made everything possible. And at that time, what did people do? Well, they had to make physical models for trying to work out the forces on the supporting structure, the forces cable, and you can see the work going on. I have a number of slides which show the engineering which is by intuition, the engineering which is by practical modeling, the engineering which is by touch and feel. And you can see over here the evolution. The small pieces of similar weight and trying to work out cable fields, although this was a cable net structure covered by plexiglass, because at that time our forefathers not so confident about membrane structures. So they put on plexiglass on this cable net structure. You see here, this covering is all plexiglass. However, while working on this, the engineers, and that is where the force density method of analysis happened to be. And since then, you can see how daring mankind has been, how the earlier works have given the courage and experience and the tools to various people. So this is Denver Airport, landmark structures throughout to form. So here is the available tools which evolved from there, the force density method. It was also called the Stuttgart direct method, the dynamic relaxation by Professor Mayan, Bath Universities. And then there was the updated reference strategy method by Dr. Bletzinger. He comes from the Munich Institute, and he is associated with the Institute of Membrane Technologies. I have taken a small model and just wish to take you through the process of what I have earlier described. There is definitely a geometry import into the structural system where we define the boundaries and the heights, etc. There is a generation. This is the nonlinear 3D phase. Once we do that, we do a process of form find. This form find is algorithmic and numerical. And then we play around with these stresses. For example, if I have curvature in these cables, I know I will need slender cables. But at the same time, my covered area would reduce and the architects would throw away my structure and say, Layer Singh, I want to cover the whole area, not 50% of it. So again, I'll have to increase the pre-stress in the cables, which would mean more force into the system. And once engineer works out an equilibrated shape which satisfies the conditions and is almost there, we run through a small structural analysis of just the pre-stress. And you can see on the right hand side, this is the analysis of the pre-stress. The pre-stress was envisaged as around 2 kilonewton, and we can see over here through all this number that we have a very uniform pre-stress into this. And then comes the loading part. The loading part again is a challenge. The normal forms which are described in codes, the wall shape, pitch roof, the freestanding, the Northlight ones, and membrane structures with its unique shapes, combinations of shapes which are conical with an hyperbolic end and whatnot. So it becomes very difficult to estimate how the wind loads be. Again, thanks to the various computational fluid dynamics programs and going around the world, we can do it with a much faster pace and much lower cost. The earlier membrane structures were all subject to wind load analysis, wind tunnel testings, and it was very time. It was time consuming, and it took a lot of time and lot of effort, which included a lot of money. But frankly speaking, there was no alternative to membrane structures. Creating 100, 200 meter spans, 300 meter spans, present day regular materials would not be able to do that. The same thing can be achieved with slender cables and a flexible piece of fabric. So here you can see the wind loading done on the hyperbolic paraboloid shape, and then we can check stresses. Now Arun was explaining, we have a material constraint. The present membranes from a ultimate tensile strength value of maybe 6 tons a meter, and they can up to 6 tons a meter, which we call normally the type 5 or protein fabric. And as once we do the structural analysis on the membranes, we call it a global analysis. In normal structures, there is an uncoupled analysis where you on the imposed loads of the roofing, calculate and put it on the system on a single portal and come out with your solution. But here, a global analysis is advised. So this is what we call a coupled analysis, where the membrane, the cable, the cut elements, and the tie cables are all put into one system, and iteratively the forces interchange and the solution is taken. You can see over here the forces, some forces in the struts, forces in the cable, and then the cutting pattern generation. Once having made a 3D surface, Ferrari supplies us with rolls of fabric. So there is one part, it is the unfolding of surface. People tried various ways like making small 3D models, pasting of paper on it, cutting it to a shape, and then unfolding it and enlarging it. But with the present day computers again, it's become very easier now. The seam line drawn over here can be geodesic or can be section cuts. The difference between geodesic and section cut is geodesic, as we all know, would be the shortest distance between points on a curved surface, whereas the section cut would cut it simply through. So geodesic cuts makes the edges straight. So which means we will have little loss of fabric and we'll be able to utilize the entire roll of fabric. Now this patterning also again an architectural part of the structural system, where we can line the seams in such a way, whether it may be diagonal, perpendicular, or to any other shape, or maybe in 4 sides. However, the most important part is to understand the warp and the weft, the primary material, which is the fabric. These are some detailing processes which are very typical to the membrane. Since I was talking about a simple paraboloid shape, if you can see over here, even base plate geometry has a ball joint. So whatever residual torsion can be eliminated from the strut, and hence the strut becomes lighter and lighter. Although the connection becomes complex, but the material usage is lighter. And here we can see how the cable connecting elements and plates, etc. are used. Various ways of releases, also in smaller parts, can be achieved through the connections. So here we can see the first part where we allow movement, second part the other side horizontal, and now here we have a system which we can give it complete freedom. It's all hardware already existing, or the engineer can develop his own, because with membrane engineering, membrane structures, it's an endless ocean of possibilities what you can do with making pleasing connections, making them work functionally, and that gives you satisfaction of having done something. I would give it time till 5 p.m. so I've come closer to the time. I would just leave you with some food for thought. Maybe further topics. As we talk about global analysis, the coupled analysis, which needs special and packages, we talk about deflection criteria, especially the fabric and the entire systems, as these systems are supposed to move. They are live structures. That's why they are not used for housing complexes or abodes, temporary camps, tents, stadiums, malls. But this criteria is different from the normal criteria. We have these thumb rules. The deflection criteria developed by the TensorNet Association. Due to the lack of codes and standards, uniform lack of codes and standards, where we have Japan developing its own codes and standards, so was US, so was France, and so to a certain extent UK and Britain and Australia. Coming back to India, if I have to satisfy the Indian codes deflection criteria, I don't think I would be ever able to make a tensile structure because it's a large deflection structure. So the normal criteria that we follow is that under normal wind loads or even on full wind loads, it should not be so much as that to make it obvious, and then the users start panicking below it that it might come down or whatnot. So user comfort is again a criteria for deflections, and again it is left to the engineers. However, we can introduce a lot of cable elements inside the membrane, thereby cutting the deflections and bringing it to a reasonable level of what I can say about L by 50 or around 30. Internationally, these are considered good. Again, codes are being developed, and these codes are working on the experience so that the codes are not so stringent that it may take the light out of lightweight structures. Then deflection criteria of supporting steel. That again is an issue because this is not a rigid frame structure that if I am deflecting, I make the structure crack and distort out of shape, whatnot. Being highly limited, the structures are allowed to move more. Redundance is another aspect where failure of the membrane, which is a very vulnerable element, which can be prone to vandalism, is prone to many other things. If the membrane gives away, then the supporting structure should not lose. So then again, various elements are put in so that the life safety is maintained. To a certain extent, membrane structures need to be treated relaxation in loads, especially the imposed loads. As I show you various geometries, now putting on 0.75 kilonewton as the minimum live load does not really make sense. Universally, 0.4 or 0.5 kilonewton is the expected criteria. And even today's engineers in India are open to an idea of out-of-box thinking where they are not sticking to the code and being thoroughly guided by it, but do use their own imagination, intuition, and experience due to can envisage that such highly curved surface, how is it going to hold a person every square meter? That's not possible. If it's not possible, then why put it? Then the last criteria which I would like to just touch on is loss of pretension to keep. Elastic elements under constant loads will tend to creep. And our structures are depending on pre-stress for stability. And creep would mean loss of pre-stress. In such cases, better quality materials, for example, such as produced by Ferrari, by their pre-constrained technology, where they stretch the fabric while it is being coated, and the stretch is in equilibrium. It is similar in both directions of the warp and of the panna and on the length side both, which shows that the creep, if ever, it is uniform. Taking the element of creep, membranes normally do have a retensioning system built in. The engineer who is in top-down approach takes care of the creep, the forces, and the biaxial behavior of the fabric. Now, biaxial behavior is very important for fabric structures because there are more manufacturing companies who do not have a similar behavior in both the sides. And for introduction of pre-stress, compensation or cutting the fabric short is an important criteria. If you see over here in these panels, these flat panels would be compensated to the exact amount of percentage which is required to put in the pre-stress. Once stretched to the system point, then theoretically we can say, yes, we have put in 2 kilonewton pre-stress. So that is another element which the engineer has to think. Eventually, last is about code and standard. I think I have taken 5 minutes more of my time while thanking the Institute, Ferrari, and all of my friends gathered over here today on this Saturday afternoon in the Corona lockdown, listening patiently. I would thank you from the bottom of my heart because I not only represent my industry, but I do represent the membrane industry as a whole. Being passionate about it, I would want more and more architects to use this lightweight, eco-friendly, preserving material system onto wherever it is appropriate. Appropriation means, yes, wide spans, smaller structures, and in fact, if you see COVID hospitals, most of them are covered with fabric, whether it is inflatable, whether it is clear span. So the advantages are less. If all the advantages are appropriate for the usage, then I can assure you all, with the today's availability of materials, the experience, and the computational tools, complementing them, similar kind of machineries like cutting plotters, which can cut the fabric to an accuracy of 0.2 millimeter, high frequency welding machines, testing facilities, all put together satisfy your requirement for an aesthetically pleasing and a stable structure. So once again, thanking all of you. To the Institute of Membrane and Shell Technologies, I have mentioned the website ID of the institute. All my friends who wish to do post graduations or masters can very well reach out to the institute. We have the entire gamut of the membrane verticals covered, right from conceptual design to maintenance. I would also like to mention the Resource Internet Association. The website is given there. And last but not least, Mr. Martin Brown, who could make a beautiful software that a craftsman like me would be able to use, understand, and relate to. Thank you, all of you. I think we would be now open to questions, if any, and to the best of my ability and with Arun's, we will try to satisfy your quest. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much, Dilerji. It was really a wonderful presentation. Now I request ISSC to, if there is any question, we can answer, or let us know what to do next step. Yeah. Hello, Ruchir.
Yes, Arun. I was checking the chat box. There are few questions in the chat box. The question is like, are the tensile membrane structures sustainable enough or idle enough for higher altitude building, like 50-story building, situated in a tropical climatic condition?
Dilerji should answer this question.
Well, sure. Am I audible?
Yes, Dinesh ji.
Thank you. Sorry to keep on asking because uh, well, there is money coming.
Yeah.
Well, if we see the industry, then there was a structure created over Queen Elizabeth II. It was a passenger ship, as we all know, and the design loads were around the wind speeds were around 300 kilometers an hour. So it is possible. It again has to be checked with respect of the span and the support condition. But yes, the fabrics and systems are capable of taking such high loads. Thank you.
Thank you, Dheeraj sir. Another question is that which software do you use for designing of tensile fabric elements and structure?
It is software from Mr. Martin. There are various available. As you can see, I'll share my screen again. And it is. This you can see is the software suite, which allows the complete system from the start to patterning, to form finding, to steel structure design, everything. So I have shared the link of the software in my presentation, and this presentation would be shared again.
Thank you. Another question is that is it possible to have a membrane structures for factories or industrial warehouses?
Yes, why not? Now, if we see what kind of usage is required. For example, let me be very clear. I'm a student of the line, and I would not want to use such a beautiful material where it can be replaced by any cheaper, where it is not appropriate. For example, industrial buildings. Membrane is very lightweight, so the thermal comforts are restricted to bouncing of the UV light, but being a very thin film and loss of mass makes it vulnerable, makes it uncomfortable in enclosed surfaces. It means you'll need to make it comfortable by either insulating it or putting a lot of cold air, or in case of Europe and other countries, you need purge in hot air. Then you come out with condensation. Talking about warehouses, yes, deployable warehouses where the fabric can be removed, reused n number of times, and we can all see the exhibition structures, the present day exhibition structures, white span structures. They are quite stable if they are well designed with the code and standards by an experienced person. Present industry is also asking for a lot of warehouse. Recently, we built a for Lupin. Now I am in process of developing fast deployable COVID hospitals for my municipality, which is the Thane municipality. And very soon, within a day or two, I will freeze the concept. I had proposed pneumatic structures, but the corresponding engineers are still not so comfortable by this. They call it a vague idea. So they asked me to put in some steel and fabric and forget about the rest. So that's how it is. Yes, we can do.
Thank you very much. Another question is that can these structures be designed in STAAD Pro for steel members?
Yeah, why not? There are possibilities. For example, Ruchir, my screen is able to see my
Yes,
screen.
yes.
Fine. For example, this is a classical structure, and the strut elements here, the red color elements are struts. Now, it is just a compression tension member. It cannot take bending, it cannot take torsion, it's free. Just for this single member design, how will you put it instead? This will not be possible because these are two cables and there is a corresponding cable over here stabilizing the system. Such structures are not possible. It is better to hand calculate the steel because it's very easier now. what we come up with is just I'll show you the forces over here. Let me see the reaction, and we simply find out that this strut member is undergoing 182 kilonewton of compression. And given the length, I can easily work out the type of section needed and the thickness. Complex structures, where I have mentioned that they are rigid frames like the Kanha Ashram structure, which was shown to you by Arun, which was covering more than 4 acres. Such structures, we can do an uncoupled analysis where we create a set of nodes which are assumed fixed, and they are the nodes representing the connections between steel and membrane. We can analyze the membrane over here and transfer the forces onto the STAD or SAP or any other software. So it can be done. Many times, corresponding engineers, vetting engineers, when we go to ITs or engineering colleges, we many times either need to hand calculate or we need to provide them STAD files which can be checked. Yes, it is possible and we can do it for most of the cases.
Okay. One more question is that factories require air ventilation. Usually, we see factories have exhaust fan in their roofing. So, how can we have exhaust or any alternative?
Well, we can put on those turbo fans over a structure. We can create vents, we can stagger them, make them north light. Yes, it can be done. Now, if you want other ventilations, and preferably from the sides for the air ventilation, there are strong meshes which can be used. You know, would allow a certain percentage of air to come inside. So rather than have louvers, we can use mesh fabrics, and these are regularly used in various stadiums. So it can be used.
Okay, sir. Another question. Okay, you wanted to see some Indian reference, project reference. Could you please
Yes,
show?
I'll try to pull out one of the structures. Meanwhile, I would. Well, we can go on to the next question, please.
Okay, one sec, sir. Okay. Please elaborate the cost of system with breakup of fabric supporting steel structure and hardware.
Generally, with a classical membrane shape, the hyperbolic paraboloid, if one dissect it in a percentage basis, normally 30% would be the cost towards fabric, 30% towards the steel, 10% towards the hardware. Now, when I talk about hardware, we can talk about stainless steel, we can talk about galvanized, but I'm talking about galvanized, which is the regular stuff, the 90% of the stuff. And this is how the spread is. Overall, material cost and the cost of production would be around 60% of the total cost given to you. So 40% roughly would be gross margins for the design build company whosoever make it. Now talking of the price range, simple car start from 300 rupees and then a very complex shape, complex geometry using cables, using fabric, using glass, you know, can end up to 1500 or 2000 rupees a square feet. But the normal range for cladded structures, which are used throughout India with good quality Ferrari 25 years fabric, can be had around 600 to 800 rupees a square feet range, where the steel consumption comes around 3 kgs a square feet or so, just giving you a thumb rule.
Okay.
Now, again, this question has part 2.
Yes.
Strength and serviceability criteria limitations.
Right.
Now, we use the same criteria what is used for any other substrate. Now, the limitations, if we compare it to steel, now as I had mentioned earlier, the material cannot be compared point to point, maybe glass, concrete slab, or a steel deck. Every material has its own inherent advantages, and if you compare it with some benchmark, then it can become disadvantages. Like I spoke about creep. Creep is one element where there will be loss of pre-stress over the longer the serviceability state of talking about 20 years, 30 years. So adjustments have to be made for that. And the last question is, what are the span or area we can make in single span? It has to be reasonable. For example, the structure that we made in Ghana is about 170 feet, or was it meters? I,
It's
It's 170 meters, sir.
it's 170 meters. So yes, we can do that. Large spans are possible. Now talking about a max span, let me take you back to the time when Fry was thinking, and he wanted to cover huge spaces. He had the idea of covering huge cities. In fact, if you see the the dome created is a Norman Foster, what we call the Eden project. It's a diagrid structure, a space-time structure with pneumatic structures on top, and then eventually he have an entire tropical island. So the span, if we speak on general, if you're talking about 100 meters, it's okay. It's okay with a truss cladded structure. It is normal these days to think of meters. But if it goes beyond, then there has to be a lot of input, a lot of out of the box thinking, a lot of different material possibilities. But I do believe that the bounds of human mind are limited to imagination themselves. Because if materials are not there, they can be created. If numerical theory is not there, we can see Fry Auto create it. So I think it is Asad ji. I would say yes, if you can dream it, let's do it. Let's try it.
Okay.
Why not? Now again, how we can make up the MEP systems of the roof fabric? Now, as I have mentioned, we can have a sub which would take care of all the lighting systems, of all the ventilation, of all the air conditioning requirements. Yes, that is normal. But most of the structures, if you see in malls, etc., we use them to have a very roof which gives in a lot of skylight, so we can save on energy. But again, most of the malls are covered with fabric, and they all have their MEP systems, whether hanging from the roof, architect may not like, so they come from the sides or the peripheries. How do we claim value engineering compared to other structures that we can save by adopting this type of structures? Now, let me be once again very clear that wherever appropriate, for example, let's talk about a stadium, and we're looking at a 40-meter cantilever, a 50-meter cantilever. It has been an experience throughout the world that simply extending a truss and putting fabric over it would, economical. So, how are these structures? The recent cases of our own Motera Stadium. I think I might be having the model out of it. So, how is that made? As we all know, cable net structures, we have a tension ring inside, then we have a compression frame outside, and between the tension and compression frame, we have cables stabilizing both for the imposed loads and for the uplift. So that people move on to. So value engineering can be done comparing the usage and the needs, not by comparing to other structures. This is what I believe where the value engineering comes from. When I need to cover a certain space, yes, I can check systems, whether I can have a rigid cantilever going on in, or whether I want a complete cable net structure. So is a beautiful example of the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Again, it's got good cantilevers. Again, there is no structural element connecting between the tension ring and the compression ring. They are all cables and membrane. So yes, a lot of value engineering can be done because the possibilities are endless. As I was explaining earlier, form and pre-stress, usage of materials, addition of cables, you know, we can do a lot. And I do believe if any of you gentlemen present over here have something need to be worked out, I would be obliged to have a no obligation kind of support because that's my commitment to the tensile structure industry. So we can do work together. Amit ji has a question. How does the value chain work for project execution in such roofs, time imports, etc.? Well, generally, if we compare it with PEB, the pre-engineered buildings, we can say we are very comparable with them. But when you talk about large spans and stadiums, then it's a different game altogether. Now, with respect to time frame, I would like to mention over here the development of tensile structure in industry in India has been very rapid. There are a lot of fabricators, good companies, good freelance engineers, and very good suppliers like Ferrari who have put up a lot of effort in developing the Indian market. They have stocks, but still stocks can be made and brought in within, say, a very short period of time. For a project like a stadium, I can see a total working of, say, around 6 months for maybe 30-40,000 square meters. So again, the time frame would be depending on the usage, the type, and the complexity of the shape present. So, Ruchir, would you show the structures carried out in India?
Arun, sir, he has a better picture.
He'll try.
Okay.
Yes, I think I have it on the screen.
Ah,
Just go through it. This is the international airport
yes.
at the Amritsar airport. This is the project which has already been shown to you. Maybe he has better pictures than me. Unfortunately, being a technocrat and a tech person, my presentation may not represent what I have made actually. I hope all of my friends bear with me. These are various malls where you can see the light play can happen. I'll just go on rushing. This is again a good project for Adani Smart City, done by Ferrari Fabrics, of course, covering almost 3,000 square meters or maybe 2,500 or so. Then canopies where we can have the structure itself not being a regular CHS or RHS, fabricating, tapering, making the whole system look fantastic. This is the Lucknow Stadium, which we can play around with colors. Now, when the stadium was designed and constructed at that time, the green color represented the Samajwadi Party. Now, we cannot change it to red. This is how it is. This is how India works. And so this is where we have a tension compression ring, and then there is a compression ring outside which see arches spanning and the fabric stretching and valley cables stabilizing the fabric. Here are the cables. Here are the valley cables, and again taking into the system. So this is how we can design a very simple one. This under construction. The overall usage for this 30-meter cantilever was around 3.5 kgs, 35 kgs per square meter, which is considered lightweight, very lightweight. But the geometry is fantastic. You see, I have a complete ring inside, and it's an hub and spoke model, one of the stablest geometries which we can ever play with. And this is where the geometry plays a very important part in stability of the structure. Then this is the Wankhede Stadium. Of course, we all know Mahimturaji designed it, L&T built it, and I did the membrane design and supplied the forces on the acting steel. This is a very rigid structure. So I call this as a cladded structure where the membrane is used as just as a cladding and not used to its entire potential. Then there would be some, again, more canopies, various shapes. I'm looking at something. Yes, this is the cricket stadium at Dehradun. This was entirely designed by Mafis Engineering, which is one of the premier most firm in the world now. They have done almost all the Qatar Football World Cup stadiums. Remember Arun showing the printed fabric, complex structures, very complex structures. But yes, we have used over here polycarbonate fabrics, and the Saurashtra Cricket Stadium, which we covered with roof, the membrane roof. This is again done with Ferrari, and I think that this is going to, it's almost 10 years old now, and this is going to just when it was first erected. So here it is again, a balance cantilever supported by cable, both sides. And this is the Guwahati Cricket Stadium, and this is these are various other forms. Amphitheater, or this is a single truss, and again it is stabilized by cables so that in case of loss of fabric, now the redundancy is built in the system. And people who are specialists and experienced would take their approach holistically and would not be very, optimistic of nothing, kuch nahi hoga. So this redundancy means that in case of the loss of fabric or tear, which would uneven pressures and overturning of this arch, buckling and total collapse, these cables put at regular intervals and calculate inside the software. Again, help us to give support to the idea of stability. Smaller structures. Here I would like to mention one very small structure which was very challenging. This is again Ferrari fabric, and you can see how we can play around with light. Very delightful, pleasing the eye, functional. If you see, these small kind of Hume pipe structures were supposed to be erected, but changed over to brick construction with RCC columns, I think, which were just 150 by 150. They were not even so. So it was a very lightweight structure, and they wanted to make it like a tent. But when we actually started to design it, is a high-speed zone and so on and so on. The problem was these structures were already erected, and depend on this geometry to support structures which had some cantilever on it, all collapse. So there was a system design. If you can see over here in this center, I would try and enlarge it. What we did was we built it at various intervals, low points inside the structure. Low points, we put in cables and tensioned them downwards. Very heavy foundation, deadweight foundations were created. Uplift, rather than putting, torsional or forces on the very slender structures, the forces were shared with these cables, and the civil structure was sandwiched between the lower ground and the upper membrane. This was a bit of value engineering, just to mention, which helped in stabilizing and achieving a form. Now we can see such kind of amphitheater coverings, erection process. Of course, again, a cladded structure, but it is very difficult to convince a form and a shape, which does not really protect from the side. So, but again, you can see over here, This is where the architectural intent also comes into the picture. Various again amphitheaters, cantilever roofs, pavilion stands, car parks, malls. We all know the Dreams Mall Bandop. That's one of the first. It had span around 70, 80 meters. Then this was done recently for Lodha. But this was a complex geometry. Actually, it could not have been achieved by any other material because it was a single structure. If I try to look at the functional part, I don't see any functional part in it. But again, I am so here it is a very slender section structure around 60 ton span. Again, stabilized by cables over here. You can see the brace cables. Although it looks very vulnerable, but you know the aerodynamics of tensile structures, the surface helps in better performance under conditions. Recently, we all might remember there was a storm called Varda, which came out in southern part of India. This is based in Chennai. It happened. I read it in the papers, and I immediately next day morning called up Mr. Kumaran, the chief engineer over there, and I asked, sir, are the fabric structures there, or have they? He mentioned, no, they are very well there. Absolutely. And that is how, with time and experience, we can say, yes, it can be proved. They can withstand. This was again an entrance canopy, again designed by Sterling. The structure, then various hyperbolic parabolites, car parks, or cricket stadium. This was the first stadium in India to use as a roofing material. Then you can see some more forms over here. I think I have not been able to put in much more of what was needed to be shown. So here it is. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my company.
Hello,
There are few more questions left. Like about the fire property of the fabric.
Yeah. Well, fire property, I leave it to Arun. What we can do is, I think we can club together questions about the engineering part, so that I will address quickly. And with respect to the fabric part, again, Arun can take up.
There's one question about the engineering of the structure. What about the lateral torsional buckling would do to the forces? Then the fabric would tear.
Correct. Well, this takes me to a concept where we need to organize a workshop rather because these are in-depth.
That is interesting.
Yeah, these are in-depth subjects, and you need to be in a comfortable atmosphere where you flow and step by step you can present that how this industry manages the redundancy. Yes, it is managed. It is managed and taken care of. And in fact, the present day software can allow us so much liberty that we have deformed models, buckled models, can predict the collapse would be, fantastic. The world is wide open.
Ruchir, we are, I think, close now.
Yeah.
Yes. We finished with all the questions, I guess.
I think on behalf of ISSC,
Yes.
I thank Mr. Arun, Mr. Daler for the excellent presentation. And for our members, with the request, if you have got any further questions, you can write to us so that I think we can get it on the answer from the expert. And what I'm requesting these people to give some technical write-up, which we would like to publish in our ISSC journal as well. So this is a very interesting form, very lightweight, very elegant, and I think more and more engineers should take interest in developing this type of forms. So I think we are at the end of this session. Now it is a very fantastic session. And on behalf of Indian Society of Civil Engineers and Search Ferrari, I thank all the attendees, all the dealers who have attended this webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daler and Arun.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. It's an honor and privilege to be amongst years of industry and new friends who are looking at this interesting field. Well, Make in India, let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let us do it
Hemant,
here.
request them to become member.
Yeah, those who are not our members, please become our members of Indian Society of Structural Engineers. All the information is available on our website. I can put it on the chat box. The link, if you want, is www.islc.org.in. And all the forms are available. Our publications are also available on the website. And our aim is to disseminate the knowledge basically amongst the engineers. And that's how we try to arrange this type of webinars now. Since the lockdown is there, we can't physically meet. But through these webinars or these seminars, we'll try to disseminate more and more information and knowledge to our all the members. So thank you all for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for providing us an opportunity. And on behalf of Search Ferrari, we would also like to thank the entire panel of guests, and especially Daler sir for making out his time and giving us such a wonderful presentation. So from our side, we would like to end this session. And any questions, definitely open to ask us. Our all contact details will be shared shortly via the mail. Thank you. Thank you, Hemant sir. Thank you, Shanti sir.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Bye, Shanti sir.
Thank
The entire committee. Thank you so much. Wishing you a safe living till the lockdown is lifted or we develop a vaccine.
Okay, bye.
Bye.